everyone, previously we rigged the treasure chest and created a control rig for it. In this episode we'll create a custom animation between Manny and the treasure chest, where Manny bends down, opens the treasure chest and simulates picking up a weapon. We will be switching the arm from forward kinematics to inverse kinematics, and we will be using constraints between Manny and the treasure chest, and finally we'll be baking our animations. This animation tutorial is for programmers, and I'm sure professional animators can do a much better job than me, so please bear with me on that. Also, sorry, there were lots of technical issues with this video, and there are no subtitles for this video, unfortunately. Okay, let's jump in. So first things first, this level, the default level is great, but for animations it's always best to create a new level. And actually I'm going to not create it this way, I'm going to create the level this way just so I can get the basics in. And I'm going to save this level before I do anything and just call it animation level. Hi everyone, so when I was in the editing I realized there was a lot of mistakes and this video didn't come out well, so I'm just going to restart the part again from here. So you should have created an animation level, and I'm going to essentially do a couple of things. I'm going to come to your control rig, bring it out here, that should bring the sequencer with it, and I'm also going to get Manny rigs, the SK Manny in there. So first things first, in every animation, especially when two people animations or two object animations, we have to agree on one thing: what's the stationary object and what's the dynamic object. Now in the world it wouldn't make sense if when you played this animation the treasure chest moved 20 feet back. However, it would make sense if the Manny icon, he moved forward like 20 paces or etc etc. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the control rig treasure chest and I'm gonna zero out the transform. If I'm being honest, and this is why we have an animation level, 0, 0, 0 is an important point because it's the relative point where everything is happening. So I'm going to just key in this transform. Then I'm going to get the CR mannequin, and I'm going to close the this, and I'm going to get the transform. First I'm just going to zero it out, and then I'm going to go 120 units because we need enough space for him to essentially bend down, move here and go there. Okay, so I'm then going to key this in. So now these two transform tracks I'm not touching for the rest of this tutorial. They will stay in this relative distance to each other. Now I'm going to get the idle track, idle, and I'm going to bake it onto the CR mannequin body. But what I find is it works better when you delete the CR body, bake to control rig, and then click here, and we can reduce keys because we only need the first one. And then I can delete, it's already muted up, I'm going to delete the animation track anyway. I'm then just going to delete 90% of these keys, and I only want if I'm being honest, the first key. So this is what's going to happen. I'm essentially going to copy this key. So we're going to play our animation, copy it, and then go to the end. Oh, sorry. One thing is, I'm going to change. You can see Manny's facing the wrong way. He's facing the camera. He should be facing the chest. So I'm going to change the 0 key to 90. So now he's just facing it. Now I promise I won't change the transform track. So we're going to play our animation on this, and then he'll return. We'll copy this key at the end, and that will be the end of the animation. Now this animation is on 30 frames per second, so we're going to do some maths. So I want to say at 1 second we're going to take not the hips control, but the body control. I'm going to press W to go into translation mode, and I'm going to be on local space because that's what works best. And I'm just going to push him down. Now both his arms are there, and you can see because I got auto key on, it automatically just does it for me. So he's pushed down here. I'm going to also just push him very slightly forward, and then I'm going to rotate him. And at this point I'm going to also take this IK leg, press W, go forward here. But if I do that now, it's just going to slide forward, which I don't want. I'm going to come to about 15 frames, and I'm just going to give him a little bit of a Z. So yeah, it looks like he's stepping on it. Yeah. Now, I'm going to also... So the right hand is the one who's going to be picking up the socket. So I'm going to, at this point, just... Now, circles mean rotation. So whenever you see a circle control, don't try and... If you translate it, it's going to be like super weird. So never translate it. Always be in rotation mode for that. So if you ever see a circle rotation, just rotate it. I'm just going to move the arms slightly, just... yeah, and also the lower arm as well. So it's here, and maybe I'm just gonna... So let's just have a look. What's happening to this arm? Oh, I accidentally moved the lower arm. So yeah, you always have that weird key moments like that. So yeah, 30. Now I'm going to say up to 45. Let's just get this FK to move closer to here. So come down there, and then up, down there. And also I'm going to, at this point, just twist. Let's keep this one here. So at frame 30, I'm just going to lock in his rotation, and then I'm just going to twist it 90 degrees. And I'm not going to do finger animations, but you can do that if you want. So just have a look. Yep. Now, before we come on to the next part, because let's just close the lid, because that's going to be annoying otherwise. So delete the animation track, we don't need it. Come here, get the hinge control. Now first of all, I don't want to have to deal with gimbal locks. I'm going to come to frame 0 and literally do -100. Because we saw in the skeleton editor, that's what the value was. So -100, and literally just key it in, and so it's locked. Now, at frame 45, I'm happy with this. Now, even though this isn't FK control, I want to look at the, what's the H, not L, I need the okay, hand FK control. Sorry, I'm going to search for it because I can't see it. Hand underscore IK control, that's the one. So let's just have a look at the values of this one here. Yep. So we can see the values do change. and that's kind of good because we want that. So I want to basically change this from IK control to FK, sorry, FK control to IK, and have it locked on to this point here. So I'm going to just key this in. Let's see if that changes. Yeah. Okay. So we got our IK for the first part there, and now I'm going to get rid of this, come to global, and from frame 0 actually. So you've got our switches here. So we're going to switch the arm from IK to FK. So now it's in IK mode. And as you can see, all the controls are gone. And there's a square here, which is just for IK movement. But even though it's in IK mode, because we already did it, it's got some movement there. Now it has, though, change the rotation of that. So I'm just going to come here and let's move this value. Yeah. So we just want to get this control. So this is the elbow control. And we're going to move this down so A is closer and B, it looks cleaner. And let's move this further down here. Actually, sorry, let's just get rid of this key and see how it looks. Yeah. Now, I'm going to make this clear. If you're a professional animator, this tutorial is not for you. This is for people who do a lot of programming, blueprinting, and they just want to know some animation controls. So I'm happy with this. If you're a professional animator, obviously don't follow this tutorial and make a better animation. This is for those people like me who are blueprinters, but they need to do animations from time to time. And they can't be bothered to learn Cascader. So I'm going to now, so I had this open already, but I'm going to go to constraints and, well, click on constraints, and I have it docked here. You have to select the parent the child you want to constrain first, and I want to constrain it to this handle control. So let's find our treasure chest. It's here, and let's get the handle socket. Now we've added the pre-selected, but we have to actually add in the constraint, and we need to say at which point do we want the constraint to kick in. So I want the constraint to kick in around here, and let's add in the, so we have translation, rotation, scale, parent, look at. We only want the translation. Parent is all three of them. Look at is like the inverse rotation, so you're looking at the object. I want the translation because I don't want the rotation to be affected. And I'm going to, you can ignore this comment, I'm going to make this an add. Oh, sorry, I've already added it in. And if yep, it's already there. So now it's locked on, but as you can see, it's not moved, and that's because we've got maintain offset. So I'm going to change the offset translation to 0. So here's the problem. The control's there, but the arm isn't, because we don't allow stretching. So we need to essentially, from here, get the spine controls. And actually I'm just going to key in all of them from 30, and I'm going to move these all to 30, sorry. And I'm going to rotate them start with the spine base, and just going to rotate them and rotate and rotate. So now it's reached. Still, okay, still can reach a little bit more. Let's go to the hips control. And well, actually, you know what? Push up slightly. And actually, no, not push up. Sorry. Rotate. No, that does nothing. I don't want to. Sorry, the hips is not the right one. I want the pelvis control. That's what I'm looking for. Pelvis. Oh no, that's the body control. Never mind. Okay, yeah, let's click on the body control. The easy. And I'm going to well, it's already keyed there, and I'm going to rotate it forward, and yeah, that's fine now, so I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to then come to this hinge control. Now at this value, I'm going to key it in, so we're here, and now the hinge control takes over. So I'm going to say up to 75, come here, and we're going to just go to 40. Now if I just did this this way, you're going to see the gimbal lock happen. So oh, actually it didn't happen. Okay, well, okay, so technically it did move it, but it moved it 360, not 180, so we got lucky there. Otherwise it could have done the whole weird thing. Now can you see that the arm moves there? So I'm going to say get it sort of a flicking action, and at 60 I'm going to come to my constraints and just click on the key again. So if we come to the arm controls, the constraint's gone and we're back. Now from this point onwards, we need to come on to the next step, and the next step is essentially push it forward and pick up our item in here. Yeah, before we do that though, I'm just going to change one thing, and that's his head. So as you can see, his neck, he's looking a bit, actually no, it's not looking that bad. I'm just gonna click on this head control, and maybe just from here onwards have two keys, so it just looks a little bit further up. Yeah. So and here is the last key. So seems to be, so I'm actually going to stop it around there. Yeah. And I'm going to get rid of these keys here because it twists in a different way. Okay, so let's then move this hand further to the right here, so it's just a little bit straighter. Now we're going to take the body control. Now remember, this is in IK mode, so I'm going to go to about 70 frames go forward. Now because it's in IK mode, the arm won't move, so we have to manually move it. And we're going to just start from the beginning, see how it looks. Yep. So I want to come to 90 frames, and I'm just going to push the body control further, and I'm going to take the arm control, and I'm going to push across, but I'm also going to rotate the arm as though he's grabbing something. And I'm going to stick to that pose for about 10 frames. And the reason for that is we want to, in our animation, have a certain point where essentially he spawns the weapon here and then picks it up. So we're going to give him a 10-second gap, if that makes sense. Well, 10-frame gap. And up to this point here, we're just now going to I think 5 seconds should be fine, actually. Now we want to reverse everything to the original frame. So let's just do that. Let's see how this looks. So come here, all the frames, get the first frame, copy, and we're just going to go to the end. And sorry. I took the transform plane. I want the CR planes. So copy and then paste. So let's just have a look at that and see how that looks. Let's just so it needs to be faster, so we can always adjust that just by moving the key here. Let's see if that looks better. Okay, I want the hold to be longer, so I'm going to take so 10 frames are not enough, so I'm just going to take this value and literally just shove it across to the right so the hold is longer. And also, yeah, this right foot, so it moves back too early. And actually, yeah, so I'm just gonna bring this forward, and I should probably bring it to the point where it is. So now let's have a look at that. And I'm just gonna pause it at the right point. Okay, so that's the point. So this is frame 90, and I'm gonna literally key everything in here, and then I'm gonna move these to the end, take the 90 frame, copy it, come about to 99 and paste it. So now let's have a look at that. Yep, I like that now. And by the way, this is just on how you want to refine it. You can refine it as much as you want. I'm happy with this, and I'm going to go with this. So let's And actually, I'm just gonna change. I'm just going to take this value. Actually, no, it's fine. I was gonna have a little bit of a pause at the end, and I am actually gonna do that. So I can duplicate it here. So it's gonna be a little bit faster, but the pause at the end is fine. So have a look once more. Yep. I'm much happier with that now. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't like these keys to have like this. I would rather it now go into an animation mode. So first of all, I'm gonna save this sequence and a file there, and you can actually do sorry, if you click on the sparrow, you can do save as if you want to name it something. I'm going to name it in the animation folder. Sorry, the fab treasure chest animation folder. Now I already have this one here, so I'm just going to name and call it v2 underscore v2. Now I'm just going to bake these animations because I don't want to keep this key data in here. So I'm going to right click, bake animation sequence, and it's already selected for me, but I'm going to come into the animations folder and call it a Manny opening chest, and it's going to be called v2. And export. Yeah, I'm just going to keep the standard settings. And likewise, a treasure chest opening v2. And export it. Now if we come here, so that's it for the tutorial. We've got our two sequences here and we can just see them. This is our sequence opening, and this is our sequence of the chest opening at the right time, and that's it for that. Now I'm going to be honest with you, so for the rest of this tutorial we'll go back to I've used this ls open treasure chest here, which is the same as the one that we just created, and in the next tutorial you'll be using this a open chest linked and a treasure chest open linked, and they're literally the same animation. It's slightly different and they're longer because I used a little bit of a different time frame, but same animations that you just saw that you created here. And just to prove it as well, linked animations. Yeah, so you won't see these v2 animations in the next video. You'll see this a Manny open chest linked and a treasure chest open linked, and you'll see the ls Manny treasure chest open sequence. Congratulations, you have created a custom animation. If I'm being totally honest, I mainly edit animations rather than creating them from scratch. I have a bonus video at the end where I edit an attack animation, so do check it out. In the next video, I will essentially use the level sequencer to allow the player to play this animation at the dynamic location, or if I be more specific, the treasure chest's location. We will then bind our character and treasure chest dynamically to the sequence. I'll create a weapons manager and a basic interaction system to go with it. Remember, this is just my way of creating a custom animation, not necessarily the right way. See you in the next one.